Welcome to Your Voice Heard with Dr. Marilyn Pendleton. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of Your Voice Heard with Dr. Marilyn Pendleton. And I would like to say Happy New Year. And we have a special guest with us today. And her name is Anu Tharmaraj. So let me tell you a little bit about her. I have her bio. She is the founder of Cherish Life Coaching Services. She's a board certified functional nutrition coach and a master transformation health and life coach. I do help women, but she does help women balance their energy through food so that they can be productive throughout the day without craving, vicious cycles, making them focus on only one aspect of life, like finances, and not being able to nourish the relationships that are so meaningful. Now, that's a bit about her, but I know she will expand more about what she does. So welcome, Anu.
Thank you for introducing me, Dr. Marilyn. Good day, everyone.
Yes. And I am grateful that you're here to join us. I met Anu through a colleague of mine, a colleague and a great friend. So, masterful networker. Anu, please tell the audience, how did you get started in this industry?
As everyone, I was an engineering degree holder, and I was focusing more on knowledge on that. But when I had my own health issues, and I couldn't find anyone who would be able to support me in the preventative side of health, and like how I can manage my symptoms rather than putting a band-aid, that's when I had to delve into like all the resources that I could find on how I can transform that. And then I kind of learned more about how food is the basis of building our energy resource in the body and how to start healing and nourishing the body. So that's how I became so passionate about that. And it's not a topic that many people knew, and hence I became a pioneer and I'm starting to educate people on that.
Thank you. That is very helpful. So as a grief recovery method specialist, and we deal a lot with grief, life changes in life, significant life changes, loss beyond death, and grief is a response to traumatic events, is a response to change. Grief is what lingers. And when people are grieving, often they engage in short-term energy relieving behaviors, and that may be drugs. Some are not healthy at all, and you should not engage in them at all. And sometimes it's to excess. That's drugs, sleeping, alcohol, but also food. And so people do utilize food to navigate their grief. So tell us a bit how you do your work and help people heal or move beyond loss when they're in conflict and having challenges with food.
Yeah, I just like to start sharing like some myths, like kind of bust some myths, because I think when we're like you said, going through grief, which is an emotion, the brain is kind of hijacked, and hence that's when like we need comfort. And that's why we kind of go to the comfort foods And the brain kind of loses its ability to focus on the normal activities, right? The involuntary, it's focusing on the involuntary activities, and eating is a voluntary activity. So it says like, okay, let me not stimulate the appetite, right? So that's when people don't have those appetite to eat. And then when they see food or like kind of haven't been eating for a long time, they have a depletion in the energy. And that's when they go and grab the easy to get energy foods. That could be the processed foods. But that's a vicious cycle, because when we are going through the emotions, the brain is looking for nourishment, especially like the feel good hormones, right? The dopamine. Yes, there was a loss that we kind of encountered emotionally, but we also have to bring in that we did share some good memories, or had some things that we could be grateful for when we did have that activity in our life. So I really want to kind of start um, acknowledging that the brain is just trying to protect us. So this is like, I have 3 tips that I always tell them. First is like, let go of any specific diets that they're like focusing on. Like if they're like they're on a weight loss diet, or they're like on a restrictive diet, because the body is perceiving it as a loss, it does not want to lose any more weight, right? So kind of like stopping that temporary goal and focusing more on eating colorful foods that will kind of give you that feel good hormones that'll make you feel better. So having lots of vegetables, fruits, and healthy fats, because that's a brain food. And this is when I like to kind of like use the health food stores, right? Kind of go for those ready-made salads, go for those ready-made fruit salads, go for those ready-made smoothies and healthier snacks, and have them so that you're feeding your body and nourishing the good memories through the grieving process.
You know what? I thank you for that, because we are coming off of the heels of a holiday season. And not only the holiday season and New Year's, often people say, oh, I have I'm going to make resolutions. And, but also the emotionality. Holidays are not always happy times.
Yes.
And they can be very emotionally challenging. And then there's kind of this short window, and then it segues into the other emotional heart holiday, which is Valentine's Day.
Valentine's.
So tell me about some of your experiences working with clients, basically during that time frame from Thanksgiving to Valentine's Day. And what are your approaches to support them?
I'm definitely focusing on enjoying the meal that's in front of us. Right? When we're more grateful, when we're more mindful, the brain is using the 5 senses. Right? It's kind of like looking at the food. Oh, okay, I have this much. So one serving might be less. So we'd be fulfilled in the stomach with just one serving or just one plate, right? Because we think, oh, when we're in the emotion or the heart, we kind of start to eat more than what we really need for the physical body. So definitely just being grateful, looking at the plate, taking deep breaths. So that kind of slows us down, and that also enriches the digestive enzyme. So you're naturally going to be digesting the foods that really doesn't agree with you, right? And when the foods that doesn't agree with you are sitting in the stomach, that's what makes your immune system weak, causing the inflammation. It causes the digestive issues. That's when you wake up in the like Jan 1st or 2nd saying like, oh, I have to change my diet, right? But if we can embrace that we are going to be having the foods that we like, and I always like to say, have more fiber. Like, can you have more fruits before you have the meal, the heavy meal? That will slow down the digestion, and hence you'll eat less, but still feel satisfied you had all the foods that you really liked or wanted to have. And definitely focusing on more of the fats, because that fills us up. So when since every dessert is going to be made of fats, I would say have that first, and then just like relish it. Take deep breaths and eat it slowly. Then you will be more enjoying the holiday season and be talking more good. And then like I also want people to know that when we eat foods that we like, we can connect with people better. We'll be in a better
Mm.
mood, right? The feel good hormones will
Yes.
be kicking in rather than like, oh, that person said this like long time ago. So not going into that the negative feedback loop.
Well, you know what I find very interesting that you mentioned eating the dessert first. And when I go to a restaurant, I look at the dessert portion of the menu first because that's my favorite portion. But I did want to ask, and so uh, when people are faced with food insecurity or lack of resources, uh, how how can what tips can you give individuals that their budgets are like restrictive,
Mhm.
or they might be in food deserts. They may be in a city somewhere where there's not a lot of access. You have to it might be a corner store, or if they're in a rural area and they have to drive great distances for food. What recommendations or tips would you have for them to encourage them to eat healthier to help their body heal?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. And even like you said, we can be in the busiest of the cities and still find it hard to take the time to cook, right? So I would just focus on having more colorful vegetables and fruits and just a variety in the food. So if you're able to go and travel, like find foods that you normally don't eat, buy them. And I like to just do batch cooking. So whatever produce you did buy, use it up by cooking it like into a soup or into a meal so that it's there. Nothing is going waste. So first we want to reduce the waste. So when
Okay.
everything is already there in a meal, we can consistently have the food. We won't be having any cravings and crash. And hence we'll be like eating healthier because we had the colorful foods, because each color actually like kind of nourishes the body, mind, and spirit. And we're getting different types of antioxidant, different types of minerals, supplements, um, vitamins. So I would like to focus more on the colors on what you can get.
So now at this point, I don't, in Philadelphia, it's very cold. It it's it's just ridiculously cold. It feels like it's 19 degrees outside, but it says 30. It says it's 30 degrees. When when you're looking at seasonality, some people have affective seasonal disorder where the change in the seasons really affect them emotionally. Is there one, and you talk about colorful food, is there one type of food that you would recommend that's easier to access to improve mood or spirit and decrease inflammation in the body?
Yes, just going with the Thanksgiving foods that are harvested, right? The squash, the different types of all the squashes, having the different types of potatoes, the skin, those are all still good nourishing foods. And having more like broths, chicken broth, vegetable broths, those are also really nourishing foods that'll kind of make use of all the things that you already have in the kitchen, so you don't have to go and buy anything new. But you're able to um, feel good, especially like having those butter or like fats. When you add that, that feels good in the body. That'll kind of calm your body down. It'll increase the body temperature, and that will make you feel better to withstand the cold, the inflammation, like reduce inflammation, because oil is always healing. So it's always good for any inflammation, any pain in the body. And we do have to accept that winter is the time that the body wants to heal. Like that's the rest and recuperate season. So having more of those types of foods, like olives, avocados, those types of foods will really reduce inflammation and make the brain feel better.
Oh, thank you. So I'm not feeling too badly about that slice of toast with butter I had before I came on here.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
whole grain, whole grain. Now, I can you share with our audience just one experience that you've had with a client that was really struggling and how what you recommended and how they transitioned into a more healthier, emotionally healthier type of existence.
Yes, I can definitely recall a client who was in her 75. She was 75 years old. She was living by alone. She was living alone. So she kind of had that depression. She was going to a therapist consistently for many years. And she had like the thyroid issues, the adrenaline issues, the blood sugar issues. So she was diagnosed with so many things. But again, these are all just labeled that the body was just feeling isolated, right? Not nourished properly, that the different organs of the body were affected. So I was able to first start with food, like that's always the way I start. And I like to focus on the three macronutrients, right? So that's where we get the majority of the vitamins, minerals in the body. So each week I kind of like started talking about the carbohydrates that she has to start including, again, the colors and more of the low sugar fruits and vegetables, high fiber, high dense, like more of the super green foods. And when she started to add that, then we focused on the proteins with each meal, and then we focused on the healthy fats. And after she started having the healthy fats, that was like fueling her brain, right? So actually, it was studied that if you have anxiety or depression, it's more because of malnutrition to your brain, right? So more mental issues are because of not really nourishing your body. Even though we might look obese, we do not have all the nourishment that we need, like from the vitamins and minerals. So when I changed that, she became a social butterfly. She was really isolated. Now she became a social butterfly. She started connecting with her old friends, and she was able to start cleaning her house, kind of like doing other small, small things, going out to gardens and parks. And eventually she kind of got off the depression medications, and she even stopped therapy. I mean, it's not like because she felt she got fulfilled, she was able to stop therapy. But again, it was like a lot of the inner work that she did that made her to that place. So definitely, when you do change the diet, you can see a lot of shift in your social networking and even your finances. She was able to save more money because she was, like you said, we kind of go into that addiction,
Mhm,
um, and addiction is really an unmet need,
mhm.
right? And when she was able to nourish her body, she knew what she wanted. That was connection with people. She was doing all the activities that she liked, the gardening and everything. And that made her feel better, less stress, and she was able to have a better finance. And then her quality of life completely changed. She didn't have to go to a lot of doctor's appointments. Like that completely changed her financial level.
That's amazing. And just doing one thing
Yes.
will guide a person, will help them on their path to healing and wholeness. And so there's more than one path that leads to being whole as a whole. And when we talk about whole person health, and that is just an amazing example. And I thank you for sharing that because a lot of times, particularly with seniors, they're isolated. They don't eat with other people, and then they tend to not make the best health or nutritional choices as well. So thank you for sharing that story with us. Now, how can our audience connect with you? Can you please share all of your social media handles?
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me that opportunity to share about the client case. I feel like when you invest in coaching, you actually invest in your whole life. So my company is called as Cherish Life, And my Facebook page is Cherish Life. I have a website that's called as Cherish Life Anu, and I'm active in LinkedIn and Facebook. And
Well,
I offer, sorry, and if anyone is interested, I offer like a clarity session where they can understand how is food important right now for them to make the change in other things in their.
and can you give them, the audience, your website so they can immediately look you up?
Yes, it's called cherishlifeanu.com.
Thank you.
ANU.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining Your Voice Heard with Dr. Marilyn Pendleton. And I wish you the best year 2025 and stay warm.
Thank you. Thank you. And for all the audience, my best wishes for a wonderful, healthy new year.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.